Welcome to Brain Lady Speaks with Julie Anderson on the Lessons in Joyful Living Radio Network. Julie Brain Lady Anderson is considered to be one of the nation's top experts on the brain-personality connection. She has been inspiring her audiences to fire up their brains and ignite positive changes in their relationships. And now she is here to bring that knowledge to you. The information she shares will help those who hear it to accelerate their success in life and business through the discovery of their natural gifts and maximizing their brain power. When you learn to tap into the potential of your natural gifts and the power of the brain-mind connection, there is no limit to what you can accomplish. Today and every Wednesday on Brain Lady Speaks, you'll explore the latest findings to see how they have practical application in your life. And now, get ready to join Julie Anderson on Brain Lady Speaks on the Lessons in Joyful Living Radio Network. Take it away, Julie.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning here in Northern California. We have had quite the interesting weather patterns come on through. Not exactly normal for our Northern California area. It's been kind of funny, but we're enjoying the changes anyways. Welcome on the show. Thank you for joining us. This is the Brain Lady Speaks radio show. I am Julie Brain Lady Anderson, and I am very happy to have you here. We have a great show planned for today. I have a wonderful guest that I'll introduce in just a few minutes, but I want to be sure that everyone is connecting and getting all of the benefit of all of the information of all of the programs. We are now closing up our 5th month, woohoo, of recording here on the Brain Lady Speaks radio show, and we're excited. We've covered just a huge, wide range of information on some of the past shows, everything from animals and the brain, to understanding communication styles, to introversion, extroversion, to your brain and business. Last week we talked about music in the brain, which was fascinating. This week we're going to talk about brain health and our diet and how that all goes together. So we just cover anything and everything to do with the brain and how we can understand what's coming out of neuroscience, this fascinating research coming out of the field of neuroscience, and apply that information in a practical way in our day-to-day lives. Because I get blown away when I read some of these studies, but if all it becomes is just a wow factor in the information and you don't apply it, then it really doesn't have that life-changing or relationship-changing or business-expanding effect that we would love to have it have. So that is our goal on the Brain Lady Speaks radio show. Sorry, we got a little bit of background noise going on. We'll try to get that taken care of. But we have, as I said, a really cool guest on our show today. We're going to be talking about how what we eat, how things we do in our day-to-day life affects our brain health. Because in order to have the best, healthiest brain so that we can achieve everything that we need to achieve in our life, in our relationships, then we are going to need to have a healthy brain, right? We want to be running on all cylinders, so to speak, and we want to be able to live a long and healthy, happy life. And that's all that we're doing here in bringing this information to you. So that is our topic for today. I want to encourage all of the listeners, if you have an interesting topic that you want to, or you'd like to see me talk about, you'd like to see me discuss on the show, then drop me an email. Send me an email at info at brainladyspeaker.com or info at yourbestmindonline.com. And let me know, give me your feedback. Let me know what you're thinking. What would you like to hear about? Do you know somebody? Do you know a brain expert or a brain relationship expert? Someone who would be a good fit for this program that you would love to hear interviewed. Or if you are that person, then please reach out and contact Julie the Brain Lady, and we would love to get you on. With that being said, I want to introduce you to our guest. Our guest today is Kellie Hill, and I'm going to read you her bio here. She is a best-selling author and television personality. Kelli Hill is a nutritional therapy practitioner. Ooh, we're going to find out more what that is as we go through the show. She is the founder of The Right Plan and former international radio talk show host of Eat Well to Live Well with Kelli Hill. As a local ambassador for the American Heart Association, Kelli devotes her life and work to helping others find their optimal health using only whole foods, no cans, boxes, or supplements. She has been helping others, just like you, transform your life quickly and simply. Battling back from near-death, medical experts worldwide were astonished that she was able to achieve such miraculous results in a short amount of time. So, Kelli, welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. As I mentioned earlier, in the introduction, I talk a lot about anything connected to the brain. And one of the presentations that I have and I do is called Healthy Brain for a Happy Life. And one of the things I talk about in that presentation is our diet and the things that we eat and how that affects, there used to be the saying, you are what you eat, but it's kind of like your brain is what you eat. So how do you want your brain to look, right?
Right.
Very fun information. And neuroscience and statistics are helping us to see and appreciate so much more. But there is a very serious side of this. And I'd like to kind of start off with having you share with us, when we were talking offline, you had shared with me your personal experience. So to help the listeners to really get to know you, as well as to be able to understand your expertise and what led you down this path, can you go ahead and tell us kind of what put you in this? Why did you become so passionate about this, and what's your personal experience with brain health?
Well, it's kind of a long story, so I'm going to really just fast forward to the end of it because some of it isn't as relevant to brain health. But I had definitely struggled with some medical issues. And for me, what it really came down to was it was the last day of first grade for my son, and June 11th, 3 years ago. It'll be June 11th. And I went to call the dogs in, but what came out of my mouth was, it didn't sound like the dogs by any means. In fact, it sounded more like what the dogs would sound like, not their name. And I didn't really think about it. As busy women, especially, I think men may be the same, but I think as women, especially, what I really thought was, I don't have time for this. I got to get my kid to school. This is the last day of school. There's a lot going on today, and I just kind of ignored the whole thing, and I called the dogs in again, and this roar came out of my mouth again, and I thought, I really don't have time for this. I got to go. They can just stay outside. And I strapped my son into his car seat, little booster seat thing, and I got on the road, and I drove him towards school, and I realized that I couldn't swallow. I had taken some toast with some nut butter with me, and I had a bite in my mouth, and it's this big bulbous mess in my mouth, and I can't swallow, and I'm drooling all over myself. And I luckily, it is a very straight distance between our house and his school, thank God, because obviously I made a very bad decision there. Dropped him off at school. I didn't get out of the car. I knew right then something was very, very wrong. And so I grabbed my phone and a book, and it happened to be one of my books, something I had written, and I read out loud and recorded it, and I realized I sounded drunk. I literally sounded like I'd been on like a 3-day drinking binge. And so I pulled down the mirror in the car and looked, those rearview mirror piece, and I pulled it toward me. I took a look at it, and the whole left side of my face was drooping and completely unresponsive. And I tried to put my hands together, the test, the neurological test that they give you, where you put your forefinger to the thumb, the like fingerprint to fingerprint, and then you do your middle finger to your thumb, and then your ring finger, and then your pinky finger, and you go back and forth. And I couldn't do that. And so Of course, I was quickly got to the hospital, and at the age of 44, I had a stroke. And less than 3 years ago, I couldn't touch my finger, I couldn't talk, couldn't swallow, and obviously I have been able to come back from that. And the most incredible piece, in my opinion, is the fact that when they did, of course, they do all sorts of imaging on the brain. I had, very clearly dead white spots in my brain that had died during the time that I had the stroke. And as they imaged them, even a year later, I went back for my checkup, most of those had actually built new neurons, new synapses. So I like to tell people that, my train had been working on one track for a long time in my brain, and, the track exploded, but my brain and body were able to make new tracks. So I still have a few things that I can't do as well as I would like, but I have most people would never know unless I tell them. So I play tennis, I run, I jog, there's really very little residual from a bad stroke. So I think the brain is the body and the brain are a magnificent piece. And because this came on top of some other medical things, they sent me all over the country doing blood tests, trying to figure out what's happening. And the piece that all the doctors, all the medical experts worldwide that have looked at my case kept coming back to is the fact that I survived and basically came back to the point where it's almost like nothing happened was because of the really healthy diet that I was eating. And it has saved my life multiple times and brought me back from the edge of death, and unfortunately, in the case of the stroke, the edge of potentially permanent disability. And,
wow,
very exciting.
Very, very interesting. We want to hear more, but we're going to split off for a break real quick here for just a minute or two. And when we come back, we will hear more on the Brain Lady Speaks radio show. Thank you so much, Kelly.
With her thorough understanding of brain chemistry, Julie Anderson provides you with tools and processes that will change your life in a positive way. Julie uniquely blends science and psychology when she shares her knowledge and information with businesses, entrepreneurs, women's groups, and families to improve workplace morale and productivity, parents creating dynamic relationships with their children, and women achieving more in life and business. Julie Anderson will be right back with Brain Lady Speaks on the Lessons in Joyful Living Radio Network.
Imagine what your life would be like if you could master the thoughts in your head that hold you back, the thoughts that prevent you from living the very best version of the life you're here to live, the very best business that you're here to create. I'd like to invite you to join the Art of Personal Mastery, the free online event that starts the 11th of April. All you have to do to join is to go to www.theartofpersonalmastery.com, enter your name, your email, click Get Access, and I'll share with you how to join me and 21 leading experts from around the world talking about how to break your bad habits, create powerful new ones, master your mindset and your actions to create the life you're here to live. I'll see you there. www.theartofpersonalmastery.com. I'll see you soon.
Welcome back to Brain Lady Speaks on the Lessons in Joyful Living Radio Network. By including the latest scientific research on the brain-personality connection, Julie Brain Lady Anderson provides her clients with the all-important why behind what people do and how they think. The information she shares will help those who hear to accelerate their success in life and business through the discovery of their natural gifts and maximizing their brain power. Here again is your host, Julie Anderson, with Brain Lady Speaks on the Lessons in Joyful Living Radio Network.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Brain Lady Speaks radio show. What a story Kelly shared with us before we went off to break, and we had to kind of cut her off there, so I apologize for that. But it's Kelly, if you would, do you know if you can share with some of the listeners before we get into some of what's going on in the brain during a stroke? Do you know what the current statistics are? Because I seem to remember hearing that women are actually at a lot higher rate of strokes and heart attacks, those types of things, than previously. Like it used to be something that was male dominated, and yet women are coming up in the statistics. Is that correct?
It is true. Unfortunately, we're number one, and not in a way we would like to be. Yeah, the American Heart Association, their new information came out, I want to say maybe the end of last year. I've kind of lost track. And, women are having more strokes than men, and more strokes are killing us. And strokes are usually caused by heart disease. So that's the reason American Heart Association puts that out. And so, we're looking at the number one killer of women being heart disease, and it's more deadly than all forms of cancer combined. That's the piece that I think people really don't understand. I mean, we hear a lot about things like breast cancer, but really all forms of cancer combined actually kill less women than heart attacks and strokes, the heart disease piece.
Wow, that's pretty heavy. And if I understand correctly, the age is coming down too. It's in the past it was an older type of a thing that it happened mostly to older people, but now, like you were 44. That's something that is almost in the past would have been unheard of, but it seems to be more common now. Is that correct?
It's true. It is no longer an old man's disease.
Which means that we need to pay even more attention to it. And a couple of things that I really want to hit on during the show is how you worked to recover from this, because it sounds like the brain is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. If people realized and understood just how malleable it is and how many new neural connections can be made after damage, that's a huge message that I want people to hear. But I also want people to know that there is so much that we can do in a healthy lifestyle that really lowers our risk so much of, I mean, I've read studies that the DHA, the essential, the pro fatty acids that will actually reduce the risk of strokes, and it just makes you so much healthier in so many different areas. So I know that there's a lot of foods that we can take that we can incorporate in our diet, some that we should stay away from as well. But let me talk to you about so you go through this experience. Were you a nutritional therapy practitioner prior to this, or is that
I was actually. Yeah. So it's part of the thing that helped save me. I think if I had already had the medical issues and then tried to change my diet, especially as serious as mine were, I don't think it ever would have had the same effect. The fact that I was already eating healthy allowed me a little more flexibility in my heart disease. So I was actually already a nutritional therapy practitioner when everything started falling apart. And, I always tell people that, we're dealt a hand, and we have to play that hand, if we're talking, poker, as best we can. And so if there's anything in that hand that we can trade out, and put in and get a better draw, we want to do that, because these things can happen to anybody at any time. It's like we were saying, it's no longer an old man's disease. It's no longer even just a man's disease. This is something that's happening, unfortunately, to more than 610,000 women every single year. So, if there's anything that we're holding in that hand that we can get rid of, and put in place a better card to make a better hand, we want to do that. And for me, I had some good pieces there, some good aces, by already having a really healthy diet that helped me know that something was wrong and get the help as fast as I could, and then help me recover really, really quickly.
Sure, no doubt. I mean, that type of a situation for someone who wasn't already in the physical health that, the good physical condition that you were in terms of your diet and your lifestyle, it could have literally knocked you on your back. They could have been calling 911 and had an ambulance picking you up and unable to move, and much more serious damage to your brain had you been living an unhealthy lifestyle.
Yeah, no, so, the doctors have been very clear that is one of the primary reasons that I'm still alive.
So it's very, very much very important to be proactive instead of reactive, be able to do things in our life ahead of time. So as a nutritional therapy practitioner, kind of explain to me what that entails and what you do to help people with their life and their health.
So as a nutritional therapy practitioner, I help people find optimal health by identifying the best foods for each person and then teaching them how to eat and cook in order to receive the best nourishment and live in the heart healthiest way they possibly can. So I'm a whole foods diet expert, and these are foods people can find in their local grocery store. We're not talking any weird boxes of food type products, no nasty tasting shakes or even expensive supplements. This is just real food for real results.
That's cool. That's the way we like it, right?
Yeah.
The real stuff, the stuff that has a lot of beautiful colors in it and flavors. And when you're working with whole foods and healthy foods, you find the benefit is so much better. Tell me, what have you noticed? What are some of the challenges that you see people facing today that is created through poor lifestyle choices or through poor diet choices?
Well, I would say almost everything that's problematic. There's been a lot of studies showing that really about 80% of our health is based on lifestyle and diet choices. That there's really only about 20%, a little less than 20%, that has to do with our genetic makeup that's outside of our ability to control, has to do with our economics, geographical location, things that may or may not be within somebody's control. But 80% is actually completely 100% within our control, no matter our age, our financial situation, where we live. And so, what we're seeing, of course, are these huge increases in obesity, diabetic, all the versions of diabetes now, whether it's early things like just glucose intolerance, and they keep renaming them metabolic syndrome X and prediabetes, all the way through to, the people that are dying from strokes and heart attacks, or worse, to me, in my opinion. And I always tell people this: if I had my choice, because I've been through heart attack as well, I would choose a heart attack, because you're either alive or dead. Unfortunately, when we talk about neurological damage, like brain damage and stroke, you may be alive physically and not mentally, or you may be alive mentally and not physically. And that, to me, was one of the scariest moments, having been through a lot of other stuff in a very short time frame. Everything that happened to me happened in about 18 months. And it was a lot of medical issues happening all at one time. And the one that actually scared me, without a doubt, the most, was the stroke, because my brain, I could think, I just couldn't move. I couldn't move the left side of my body. I couldn't talk, or barely talk. I couldn't swallow, and I'm laying there thinking, great, I can think, and what's going through my head are things like, what if I'm stuck in this position for the rest of my life? What if I can never be fed except by an IV? What if I can't talk to my children or my husband ever again? And truthfully, things like, I love my husband and I think he loves me, but does he love me enough to physically take care of me for the rest of my life? I'm only 44. I mean, chances are I've got, 40 more years, and I'm, luckily my husband, didn't, it didn't cross his mind to ditch me or anything. But, when you think about, those are the things, I realized that is, to me, much, much scarier, because there's a lot of variations between alive and dead. that we have the potential to spend the rest of our life with when it comes to our neurology of the brain.
Very true, very true. And you see a lot of disabilities and disorders that are that way, where the brain is there, the brain is intact, but the physical aspects are down. The speech is down.
Yeah.
The communication is down, and that I can see how that would be incredibly frightening to think about that. I've done think about that myself. I'm like, if any part of my body goes, just don't let it be the brain. Being as passionate as I am about the brain, and I'm like, if I couldn't think or I couldn't learn, how frustrating that would be. So it behooves us then as individuals to be very active in our day-to-day life to be sure that we are as healthy as we can be. You mentioned a few things about all of these health issues that are diabetes and glucose intolerance and all of the food allergies and things that are going on. And by eating healthy, we will then improve our physical health. And anytime our physical health is improved, our brain health is improved. And
Correct.
these different, by eating correctly, you're going to be getting the things that are going to be good for your brain health. Things like that are going to, if you're eating healthy, you're more than likely to be physically healthy. So you're getting the exercise, you're eating the foods and the nuts and the fish and the things that are healthy for our body and for our brain. So we're going to get ready here to go to another break. But when we come back, Kelly, I'd like to explore a little bit more about how you're making a difference, why you think this phenomenon is happening in the health system, with people in their health, and how you work with people, what you do to help them, and also maybe touch on some of the symptoms that we kind of need to keep top of our head. We kind of need to think about. So if you'll be able to share some of that when we come back, that would be excellent. Okay. All right. Well, you are listening to the Brain Lady Speaks radio show, and we are interviewing amazing, knowledgeable person, Kelli Hill, best-selling author and television personality. And when we come back from break, she's going to share with us some more of her great knowledge. So get comfortable, hydrate, and join me back at the Brain Lady Speaks radio show.
With her thorough understanding of brain chemistry, Julie Anderson provides you with tools and processes that will change your life in a positive way. Julie uniquely blends science and psychology when she shares her knowledge and information with businesses, entrepreneurs, women's groups, and families to improve workplace morale and productivity, parents creating dynamic relationships with their children, and women achieving more in life and business. Julie Anderson will be right back with Brain Lady Speaks on the Lessons in Joyful Living Radio Network.
If you're ready for a big change in your work, your career, your happiness, your life, it's time for the $1 Million Mindset with Marla Tabaka. Monday afternoons at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com. Marla believes that with the right mindset, anything is possible. Join us as successful life coach Marla Tabaka inspires you and her clients to explore, discover, and live your dreams by developing what she calls the $1 Million Mindset. Marla will inspire you to take action on your dreams and reveal secrets to success that will help you realize your own unique power. Tune into the $1 Million Mindset for heartwarming stories with Marla Tabaka. Learn tips and tricks to building a successful business and unlock the secrets to creating a happier, more balanced life through abundant thinking and attraction power. For more information on the $1 Million Mindset, go to our website, marlatabaka.com. That's MarlaTabaka.com. It's the $1 Million Mindset with Marla Tabaka.
throughout the body, and in that case, you're messing up your digestive balance. So it's all I like the illustration that you used about a stool, a three-legged stool. It has to be in balance for your life and your health to really be at its peak.
Yes.
So that's great information. And I know that there are specific foods, like I said, anything that's going to be, increase those healthy fats, because 40% of the fat in the brain is the DHA, that healthy fatty acid that you get in like the omega-3s, oils and things like that. So that's always important. You mentioned hydration. Oh, I'm a huge advocate for good hydration. What are some of the things that you, real briefly, because we're going to go to break here in just a couple minutes, but what are some of the benefits that you try to get your clients to understand about water and hydration?
Oh, hydration is everything, pure and simple. It'll decrease aches and pains. It'll increase weight loss. It'll decrease headaches. It'll improve the face. If people are having acne problems or pimples or anything, it'll decrease cellulite. There's just pretty much, it's a miracle cure. And it's such a simple one.
Isn't that the truth? The brain alone, there's all kinds of studies out there that it's lack of water is like the number one daytime fatigue trigger. It causes all kinds of issues when you're testing, when they're doing brain tests in terms of just simple, adding, subtracting, spelling, using the keyboard. If you're dehydrated, and most people don't even realize that they're dehydrated. If you're thirsty, you were dehydrated a long time ago.
Well, and when we come back, I can teach your audience a really quick test that they can do on themselves that will let them know their hydration level.
Oh, that's awesome. So when we come back, because we are going to go to break here in about 30 seconds, when we come back, we're going to wrap up the show. I'll have you share that about hydration. Share any final points that you really feel are important. And then for those listening, you are in a great spot because Kelly has a great gift to give, to share with us and to share with the listeners. So when we come back, we're going to be sharing that information, talking a little bit more about how to eat healthy, how to live a healthy lifestyle that's not just going to improve the quality of your life, but the length of your life, and it's going to improve your brain health and reduce your risk of heart attacks and strokes. So get some water and join me back on the Brain Lady Speaks radio show.
With her thorough understanding of brain chemistry, Julie Anderson provides you with tools and processes that will change your life in a positive way. Julie uniquely blends science and psychology when she shares her knowledge and information with businesses, entrepreneurs, women's groups, and families to improve workplace morale and productivity, parents creating dynamic relationships with their children, and women achieving more in life and business. Julie Anderson will be right back with Brain Lady Speaks on the Lessons in Joyful Living Radio Network.
Imagine what your life would be like if you could master the thoughts in your head that hold you back, the thoughts that prevent you from living the very best version of the life you're here to live, the very best business that you're here to create. I'd like to invite you to join the Art of Personal Mastery, the free online event that starts the 11th of April. All you have to do to join is to go to www.theartofpersonalmastery.com, enter your name, your email, click Get Access, and I'll share with you how to join me and 21 leading experts from around the world talking about how to break your bad habits, create powerful new ones, master your mindset and your actions to create the life you're here to live. I'll see you there. www.theartofpersonalmastery.com. I'll see you soon.
Welcome back to Brain Lady Speaks on the Lessons in Joyful Living Radio Network. By including the latest scientific research on the brain-personality connection, Julie Brain Lady Anderson provides her clients with the all-important why behind what people do and how they think. The information she shares will help those who hear to accelerate their success in life and business through the discovery of their natural gifts and maximizing their brain power. Here again is your host, Julie Anderson, with Brain Lady Speaks on the Lessons in Joyful Living Radio Network.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. What an exciting show we've had today. We have on guest Kelly Hill, and she has been helping us to understand how our eating habits, our lifestyle choices can have a very positive or negative effect on our, very seriously, on our heart and our brain health. So we want to continue to get some more information from you. We were talking, before we went to break, we were talking about hydration and how important hydration is. And as you said, it's like everything. I mean, there's just so many things that are connected to individuals not getting enough water. And I emphasize the word water. I'm not talking about tea. I'm not talking about coffee. I'm not talking about sodas. We're talking about water. How important it is, and that most people don't even realize that they're dehydrated. They don't even realize that by the time they're thirsty, it's too late. You've already sometimes severely dehydrated, depending on your triggers as a person. So Kelly, tell us you said that you had a quick trick to help people see or tell whether or not they were dehydrated.
Yes, because again, just like food, hydration levels are very individual. And so when you just do the whatever it is, 6 or 8 ounces, 6 or 8 glasses, whatever, I don't even know what the recommendation is because I don't pay any attention to it. But because it's not going to be appropriate for each person, depending on where they live, how much exercise they get, how hot their area is, all of this, it plays in way too much to just say, drink 8 ounces or 8 glasses of water. It's not going to work. So what we want to do is have people stand up, have them put their arms, let them hang down to their sides, so we get a little gravity in there, and then look at the back of one of their hands, whichever one they can, works the easiest, and look at the veins. So using their other hand, they can get really specific and feel the veins, see how squishy it is. These are very medical terms, obviously, here. Because this is knowing the back of your hand. I mean, I'm not kidding. This is as easy as knowing the back of your hand. So what they're going to do is kind of look at a vein, find one that they can easily identify either visually or with their other hand, touching it, letting it still hang. It's hanging straight down. And then real slowly bring the hand up, the whole arm straight. So you're just going to bring it straight up, real slowly, parallel to the floor, and you're going to stop at about the point where it's parallel to the floor, just a little above your shoulder, a little above your heart, and then look at the veins again, feel them again. If they are exactly the same, you are fully hydrated. Perfect. If they collapse, your body needs more water. And people tell me, this is just gravity. It would work no matter what. Your veins are always going to collapse. It's not true because we metabolize on average 4 ounces of water, so a half a cup of water every half an hour. Most people do. So I actually ran a test in my office, and every half an hour I got up and I drank a half a cup of water. I never went to the bathroom, and I stayed fully hydrated all day long. My body used all the water I needed. No extra. So when we get fully hydrated, we're not going to end up running to the bathroom every minute. We're not going to have any of those issues. It's the body finding that balance. Again, it's all about balance. So it's a super simple test that people can do wherever they are and becomes really fun when people do this at work. And people tell me, they write in and let me know that the whole work environment is going around doing this water salute, checking their hydration level together. I think it's great. I love it. And on my website, therightplan.com, you can see a video of it if it's harder verbally to understand it. If you want to see a video, I've done it a number of times on various talk shows and news programs. So if you need to see it, you can. But that is a super simple way People say, well, what about the pinch test, where they pinch their skin and whether it goes back? The problem is as we age, the collagen leaves our skin. And so that may or may not tell us anything about hydration. It may just tell you that, we're aging, unfortunately. So this works 100% very individually, and that's the one I recommend people do. And when you're perfectly hydrated, your veins will stay exactly the same.
Wow. What a cool tip. What a cool tip. There is so much great, there's so much great information out there. And what you're sharing is amazing. And it's so important. I really am a true believer that there are simple things that we can do in our life that make tremendously positive difference for you. And I want to emphasize to the listeners, if you have any concerns, then reach out to Kelly. Reach out, get on a good, healthy and eating program. And if there's immediate concerns or you're under the immediate care of a physician, and you have concerns there about your health, about your heart or your perhaps your risk of stroke, then by all means reach out and educate yourself, get additional information. I don't want for anything that you hear on this show to interfere with any current plans or current health care that you're under. So be sure that you keep in touch with your whatever you're currently doing as well. But Kelly, if someone wants to do, so you had mentioned, let's start with this. You had mentioned that you have, in addition to that great video that you just told us we can go watch, and I'm going to go watch that again so that you can see it. Visually is wonderful. People's brains get things better visually. Yes. So I encourage you to go to therightplan.com and watch that video, because that's going to be helpful to see it as well as to listen to the instructions. But you also made the comment, you shared a lot with us. You gave us a lot of your own heartfelt personal story and your passion, and a lot of information that my listeners can use and I can use. But you said that you also have something else that you can help our listeners out. What is that?
Well, so what I put together for you is 4 of my favorite heart healthy videos. And I know people sometimes forget that when we talk about the heart, we're talking about the brain. I mean, really, the foods are all the same. And when we're trying to prevent any neurological damage, we're talking about making great heart healthy choices. And so I put together 4 of my favorite videos that are food related. So with the recipes, and I put them on therightplan.com/brain, just for you, just for your listeners. And they can go, they're totally free. There's nothing they have to, it's just so that people have them. It'll be a video that shows you how to make, and we're talking salmon and so, great brain foods. And then they can also download, if they want, the actual recipe, so they can print it out and put it in their home cookbooks. And if they search around on the website a little bit, there's a lot of videos. I've done presentations on more than 50 television shows across the country, especially this month, because May is, we're at the end of May. It is Stroke Awareness Month. I've done a lot of eating to prevent stroke videos, and so they can pull those up, and it'll give them more recipes for things like tuna or salmon salads, and why we put the certain foods in, why we do things, why we add things like yogurt for the high potassium to balance blood pressure, why we use spinach because it's such a powerhouse nutritionally and includes magnesium, which has been shown. Every 100 grams of magnesium added to your diet reduces the risk of stroke by almost 10%. So we want to add magnesium foods in there, create that balance. It's all about balance. So they're all free on the website for people. So they don't have to do anything to get them. So I encourage people to stop by there, therightplan.com/brain, if they want the recipes I put together just for you. Otherwise, it's all there for them and free, and hopefully they can find some information that'll help them get toward their optimal health.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. That is so wonderful. And so people can follow you on Facebook under that same thing, The Right Plan, or Twitter, The Right Plan. And no doubt, based on this interview today, Kelly has, she's given us so much here. You can just imagine what you're going to find on her site. And I did want to mention as well, back in March, I interviewed Dr. Anita Jackson, and we talked a little bit on that program about the Unlimited Women conference that she is putting together in Pomona, California, June 17th and 18th. And here's the great thing, listeners, it's a great thing. I'm going to be there. Woohoo! Kelly is going to be one of the speakers. And that's one of the reasons, in addition to her knowledge about the stroke and the brain and health and all of that, she's going to be one of those speakers. And so you want to meet her personally. You want to be able to visit with her, hear more about her experience, then please go to, I will leave a link on the Brain Lady Speaks radioshow.com page. Not only a link, I'll put a link there to connect with Kelly directly at therightplan.com, but I'll also put a link there for this event, the Unlimited Women Conference, where you will be able to hear Kelly speak, you'll be able to hear me speak, and a whole lineup of other amazing speakers. So mark that on your calendar in Pomona, California, June 17th and 18th. We would love to have you there. And Kelly, thank you so much. We're out of time. Thank you so much for being here. It was an honor to be able to interview you and to hear your story and to glean your knowledge.
Thank you so much for having me. Everybody take a big drink of water and enjoy the day.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. And remember, reach out and stay in contact with me. Follow me on Facebook, Julie Anderson, Purple Brain Lady. Twitter, I am Brain Lady. You can find, of course, the show, Brain Lady, the Brain Lady Speaks radioshow.com. My website is yourbestmindonline.com. Lots of information there about the brain personality connection and all kinds of things to live a healthier, happier, more fulfilling life by maximizing your brain power and stepping into your natural gifts. So until we see next time, next month, we're going to have a bang up month. We're going to be talking a lot about parenting, the growing, the developing the brain. We're going to talk about all kinds of fun things that you can do to help nurture that brain and communicate with those kids that don't quite have a whole brain yet. So until next month, or until next week will be next month. Until then, please have an amazing week. As Kelly said, hydrate, get some exercise. I think I'm going to go make a tuna salad with avocados on it. Until then, this is Julie Brain Lady Anderson signing off on the Brain Lady Speaks radio show. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Brain Lady Speaks with Julie Anderson. Julie Brain Lady Anderson is considered to be one of the nation's top experts on the brain-personality connection.